Welcome to part 5 of Let's Debate, You Decide. Today's question, States' Rights, My Rights, a look into the history of states' rights during the era of the Confederacy. Should America return to stronger state control if fairness can be guaranteed for all? And what about the rights of the individual? Will they be protected or drowned out in a state-dominated system? Let's meet our debaters. Meet Bo McKinley, a calm, respected attorney who will represent the states. And representing individual rights is the passionate, insightful civil rights attorney, Jessica Turnbout.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. States' rights were foundational to the South's decision to secede. People believed the federal government can sometimes overreach. I remember my great-grandfather told me our ancestors fought not for slavery, but for states to decide its own future.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to represent this country. I want to remind everyone my personal opinion does not matter. I speak for the people, blue states, red states, and all those in between. Mr. McKinley, may I point out the problem with states' rights is how they were used. The Confederacy framed it around independence, but their documents repeatedly made it clear they were seceding to preserve slavery. States' rights, in that context, meant the right to enslave others. Passing all our rights down to the states would be a new form of slavery. Can you tell the people that would not be the case?
The idea wasn't evil in itself. The 10th Amendment gave powers not listed in the Constitution to the states. That principle kept local control close to the people.
You are missing my point, Mr. McKinley. The central issue of states' rights was to protect slavery. May I present Exhibit 1 to the Court of Public Opinion? South Carolina's Declaration of Secession specifically cited the federal government's refusal to return escaped enslaved people as a violation of their rights. That's what states' rights really meant, the right to keep people in bondage.
Some states feared the economic consequences of losing their right to self-govern. So they felt they needed to create declaration documents to protect themselves, nothing more. They believed that if the North could impose laws on slavery, what was next? Tariffs? Property laws? Religious freedoms?
It's true there were economic concerns, but they were tied to an economy built on forced labor. And even after the Civil War, states' rights were invoked during Jim Crow to justify segregation and block civil rights legislation.
Then we should admit those wrongs, but not discard the whole principle. States' rights, if fairly applied, could still serve a purpose today.
Only if we understand the full weight of what states' rights once meant. To many, states' rights were a cover for oppression, not empowerment.
That's a fair concern. If my state has the right to set its laws, your personal freedom shouldn't be threatened. There has to be a balance.
Exactly. But the civil rights movement happened because states' rights overshadowed individual rights. Black Americans had to fight with the aid of the federal government to make sure their rights were heard and protected.
Then maybe the solution is dual protection. States can tailor laws locally, but the federal government must safeguard universal rights.
Yes, but the moment states get unchecked power, history shows they often silence the most vulnerable. That's why we must be vigilant.
Should we go back to stronger states' rights? Maybe, if we can ensure fairness, justice, and equity. Local control has its advantages.
But fairness isn't just a word. It has to be felt by the people. And I repeat, as representative for the people, historically, fairness has not been the outcome of unchecked state power.
Then maybe we need a new model. States matter. So do people. But above all, rights must be universal.
And individuals must be protected, not overshadowed. States' rights cannot come at the expense of individual rights.
I will not deny there are those who romanticize the Confederacy and see the good in states' rights. They believe in states' rights and sovereignty. Supporters argue that the Confederacy was formed to uphold the right of individual states to govern themselves without federal interference. The 10th Amendment is often cited as a foundation for this belief. Some claim that the Confederate flag and monuments are symbols of Southern pride, family honor, and resistance, not racism. They view Confederate leaders like Robert E. Lee as brave men defending their homeland. And in the end, it ends economic disputes and calms the fear of federal overreach. Advocates often note that Southern states feared economic domination by the industrial North and believed the federal government was overstepping its bounds. In closing, I want to be clear, I do not represent the red states solely. Blue states wish for their economic sovereignty as well, but they are not as vocal about it.
Let's be honest, slavery was central to the Confederacy. However, to move forward, we need to understand our history and vow never to repeat it. We do this by focusing on truth, education, and context. Teaching the full truth about the Confederacy, its causes, its leaders, and its consequences can help separate fact from myth. When people learn history honestly, we build bridges through understanding, not silence. Can one be proud of Southern ancestors without defending the Confederacy's defense of slavery? That's the tightrope many try to walk, and the conversation we must continue. States' rights are vital, no matter if you live in a red state or a blue state. That is not the argument. The argument is not to give the states total control, because we see from our past it didn't go well the first time. We need the federal government to protect civil rights and step in when states attempt to suppress them. And this is the argument I make for the people. Thank you.
And that wraps up part 5 of our debate series. Thank you, Bo, for representing states' rights, and Jessica for representing For the People. Now, the decision rests with the court of public opinion. What do you think? Should states regain more control if fairness is enforced, or is the risk to individual rights too great to gamble with? Let's debate. You decide. We've laid out the historical facts. Now it's your turn to decide. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss part 6, where we dive into another controversial moment in history. Until then, keep questioning, keep debating, and we'll see you in the next episode.